Okay, so Joe Biden gives his son Hunter a pardon. What a massive joke. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm really stirred up and angry about this. In fact, I'm fed up with these kind of stories. I'm sure you are too. Joe Biden, in the last few weeks of his presidency, decides what the country needs most right now, apart from approving other countries to use their weapons and their missiles, which he did just a few weeks ago. This senile, deteriorating old man has decided that the best thing he could do with the last few weeks of his presidency is to give his convicted criminal son a free pass. What an absolute abuse of power. And here's my take. The world has had a gutful of it. Regular people like you and me, everyday family people, we've had enough. We're sick of it. We've had a gutful, and in some ways, this news story is unsurprising. We're annoyed, we're agitated, but at the same time, it's unsurprising. And the deal here is the facts about Hunter Biden are universally accepted. He's a convicted criminal. He tried to purchase a handgun as a drug dealer, not to mention all the other things that are in question about what he may or may not have been involved in, on at least a few things. The man is a convicted criminal without question, without doubt, and yet, despite that fact, a pardon comes for him from the president, no less. And so you have to ask the question, why a pardon for Hunter Biden? Was he wrongfully convicted? Well, the answer is very clear on that. No, he wasn't wrongfully convicted. Not a single sane person in that entire nation would try to wager that argument that he was wrongfully convicted. And so the facts are absolute. So if he's not received a pardon because he was wrongfully convicted, it only leaves one option, because he was pardoned anyway. And the fact of the matter is, this man has become a recipient of an unjust favour. What makes it so much worse, what irritates us so much more, is that it's a family favour coming from what is supposed to be the most powerful office in the world. Well, these kinds of actions make that office the laughing stock of the world, the biggest joke of the world. Family favours for a son who refuses to grow up and live his life from the president, no less. We have had an absolute gutful. Let's talk about manhood for a moment. If Hunter Biden was actually behaving like a real man, he would have rejected such a pardon and said, no, I've done the crime. I need to do the time. This is right in the public eye. This is right for who my father is and the position he holds. If he was a real man, if he had any spine whatsoever, he would never have even contemplated allowing himself to be the recipient of such a ridiculous, universally laughed at pardon that every single person in the world knows has just made an absolute joke of due process and diligence on these kinds of protocols. It's an absolute joke. Let's talk about fatherhood. Everybody in the world has the right to pursue whatever career they want, whether it's business, sport, education, or, like Joe Biden, a long, long career in politics. However, what should also be true for all of us is that before you go and try and achieve in your career, you've got to take care of business at home. And clearly, this man, although able to weasel his way into the most powerful seat in the world, clearly was not able to take care of business on the home front. And this is why his son, as a grown man, continues to be treated like a needy little juvenile who needs attention and high maintenance every step of the way. Clearly, this is a failure of fatherhood. In fact, I would go as far as to say that if you can't get it together on the home front, you should not be out there in the public eye pursuing your career. Get the home front sorted first, then go after achievements. But we don't see that happening here in this family, and we have to talk about it because this man has put his hand up as wanting to be in the spotlight and on the world stage. Therefore, that comes with the territory of people like me commentating about your decisions and about your choices. Let's talk about leadership. Wow, we are seeing the greatest leadership vacuum in all parts of society that we've probably seen in 100 years. And politics is exactly one of those areas where leadership is just waning at 1,000 miles an hour. If this man who's held this seat for the last almost 4 years as the President of the United States, if he actually had any leadership ability in him, he would have taken his son aside privately and helped him to get his life together and would never have even contemplated this duplicitous, self-serving family favor under the guise of the most powerful position in his entire nation. This is a failure in manhood. This is a failure in fatherhood. This is a failure in leadership. And the truth is, people like you and me, everyday, ordinary people, are so fed up. We've all seen it. I've seen it plenty of times in my life. I'm still seeing it, where people get into positions of power and they abuse the power for their own personal gain. We're fed up with it. And we see it all the time in politics, but we see it in business, we see it in education, we see it in religion, we see it in sport. Those who cannot restrain themselves from using the power that they've been entrusted with to do the job that they were employed for, which is to use that power to serve the benefits of the beneficiaries of that organisation. We are in such a void because what we're seeing in this situation with Joe Biden and so many others like it, we are seeing self-serving, duplicitous, abusive, manipulative, corrupt, lying, power-hoarding promise breakers. That's what we're seeing. Any wonder we've had a gutful. Any wonder the average man and woman in the street are fed up. Any wonder our trust tank is so low that we find it hard to believe anybody about their promises anymore when we keep having to put up with this nonsense being shoved in our face. Most people are out there every day working hard, trying to take care of their family, trying to pay their bills, trying to survive in a world going crazy. And in the middle of that, we have to put up with this nonsense of the world's seemingly most powerful man abusing protocol and process legislatively to provide a favor for his undeserving grown-up son. It's embarrassing and it's a joke. Here's the deal. Change is never going to come from the top. That's what I've realized. It should, but it's not going to come from the top. The only place where we're going to see real change is from the grassroots. It's from the everyday, average men and women, the family people. They are our only chance for real, lasting change. They are the last hope of the side, really. Good, honest, hard-working, family-first men and women are the last hope of the side for society, because we are seeing a systemic abuse of power in all of those society areas that I mentioned. Are there a few good people? Yeah, there probably are, but they are not getting into the places where they can bring holistic change. They're too far down the rung, too far down the food chain to actually bring about serious change. And my concern is this, that even those who go into these political fields and others with the hope and the ambition to bring change, what they have to do to arrive at a place of power is so much compromise and so many trade-offs that when they finally get to the position they aimed for, they can't do anything about change anyway. So the answer is for us. We have to speak out. We have to vote out. If you're fed up with the way people are running your local community, your state, your country, we've got to vote these people out. They are only put in these positions to serve the public interest and serve what is best for society instead of serving themselves first all the time. We need to pile the pressure on and we need to make them accountable. If you feel the same way as I do, I'd love you to drop a comment down there in the comments section below. I'd love you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have to keep these conversations going about what a real man, a good person actually looks like. And what we've seen this past few days with Joe Biden giving a free pass to his son Hunter, not even in the same galaxy of what a good, honest, hardworking man looks like.